Hey folks, KillerPigeon here. You're probably sitting there right now going, what the hell is this about, KP? What are you doing? You gonna get a haircut? Have you been eating properly? Like, what are you doing right here? I ain't got time for any of that, okay? I ain't got time to eat. The only thing I can afford to consume right now is some hardcore stats. An alarming rate, hopefully, that will one day lead me into turning into this wonderful silverhead stats man that we all know and love. I can only hope to take his place, but I can tell you what, with certain tools out there, I definitely get the opportunity to sound a lot more big brain. And if I can sound big brain using this app I'm about to tell you about, there is hope for all of mankind's genius. I am, of course, talking about Weavr, a Dota 2 Companion app that lets you amplify your Dota viewing experience. Whether you're watching a game live and want to dive deeper into the details of the game, or happen to be tied up 12 to 12 in your Valorant game and just wanted to quickly check the state of the game, Weavr's here to save your day. Today, we'll be looking at some insanely good players that make me so green with envy, I've considered renaming myself the Incredible Bulk. I'm, of course, talking about Quincy Crew and 4 Zoomers. We're about to check out game 1 between these two teams. So the cool thing about Weavr is it's not just live in-game as action occurs type analyticals. These things start as early as a draft, because as we know, for many teams, that's where things can start to get really good. Or if you're in my pub games and you see what I pick and pass for, are really bad. So when we look at the drafts initially, what we can see coming out is this Void Spirit very early on the side of Quincy Crew, which at this stage, when we look at the likely positions, it's very highly likely that this is going to be the mid role for Quincy Crew, with a smaller chance of it being either in the offlane or the post 4 role as maybe backup options. As Weavr continues to provide accurate feedback, we'll also see later on that this very clear one is important. Terrorblade is clearly played as the carry role and not the support according to these percentage breakdowns. A pattern I wish my pub players would follow and stop picking it as a 4. I can only hope. At the 6th pick, we can see that based on historical matches and positions, it's able to anticipate that the Storm Spirit is likely going to be the mid. This does, however, put a wrench in our early plans. What's the Void going to do now? Well, likely he's going to be pushed down into either the post 4 or the offlane role, which should line up better with the gaps that exist in Quincy Crew's power curves. Power curves can be seen as a tool that gives us a feel of where different heroes tend to peak based on average win probabilities in regard to a specific role on the team. So for example, we can see that running Void Spirit instead of Faceless Void as a post 1 would leave Quincy Crew with a much lower chance of victory around the mid-game average based on previous series data involving post 1 Void Spirits. This can be especially helpful for weighing up who we overall think looks stronger in the early game, who we expect to peak in the mid game, and who maybe has a better chance of winning in the late game based on historical data available. Despite narrowly handing over first blood to Yuan in the bot lane, we can start to see why the combination of Darkseer and Spirit Breaker has always proven such a potent one. We see this when, after securing multiple kills in the bot lane, Ocean points his aggression towards the mid lane. With an Iron Shell and a charge at his disposal, he helps Gunnar not only convert a kill, but then start to establish dominance over Storm in the lane, shutting him out quickly via his efficient denying. Though, just like many Monkey King games, what starts in the mid lane never ends in the mid lane. As the next several minutes will see successful rotations from Gunnar that set up his team to look cozy heading into that mid game. Something that Weavr's key performance index approves of, as at this point in the game, CS control and setting up kills, all while surviving, are measured as the biggest contributions to a win from Monkey King in the early game. Seeing the early game performance of 4 Zoomers, you can't really blame Weavr for looking a little bit like a fanboy when it comes to its win probabilities. But the system always weighs in the potential for a comeback, not only because Dota is such a complex game full of magical nani moments, but also because the big scary purple man with the bubble of danger can never truly be written off, has a tendency to bounce back in those crazy late game fights. Something our power curves warned us about on the draft screen, and something we get reminded of time and time again. When the forces of Quincy Crew call upon their blind purple smiling deity, he will be there, bathing in the blood of his enemies. Of course, there's only so much a Void can do after he's blown his chrono load, and this is something we can see all too clearly as the game goes on, with 4 Zoomers being able to consistently maintain map control and convert that control into key objectives such as towers. Couple this with Zoomers inevitably scaling better via their 2 hard carry composition, as well as Zoomers' natural ability to master the latest technology, it's not hard to see that it's only a matter of time before Quincy Crew's 1 king carry is forced to abdicate the throne.